Okay, we are live and we are doing art again. I have, how's my EQ? I think it's just a little bit dank. Thinking somewhere around that will probably, I don't know, figure it out. So I have been working on this piece. So last time we went and we streamed, I was, gotta do something in the Discord. Okay, we sent a go live message in the Discord. So last time I was working on this piece, and I really didn't like the pose. I wasn't happy with the pose, so I'm a lot happier with this pose. I think I fixed most of my problems with it. I think this forearm might still be just a wee bit long. I think this one might just be a hair long, but I don't know. I do like this pose though. Yeah, I am liking this pose. So I would say I am comfortable with probably starting colors very soon. I kind of want to do a little bit to the hair still, but other than that, I think we're actually good. Yeah, there's just a little bit I want to do to the hair. After I get that done, I think we'll definitely be ready to start with the colors. That's looking. I want this to be that, and then okay. I think we're looking pretty good there. I actually want to test something just. Hold on a moment. I think the TTS bot just like beefed it. I think our TTS bot just. Wait. Okay. No, I'm stupid. I forgot to write exclamation point TTS. That is a my bad. That is a my bad. Streamer doesn't know how to use any of his own stuff. Okay, but I am really liking how this is turning out. So I think we're at a good enough state. I think we can start working on colors, actually. Yeah, I think we can start working on colors. And I've thought about doing it where all your colors are on one layer, but I don't know about that. I'll be honest. Like I've thought about it. I've thought about trying it, but I really like using clipping layers and being lazy. Yeah, I really like using clipping layers and being lazy. So that's, but it definitely is a valid idea. All right, so we're just gonna start this off with the shawl, which is orange thing. We're gonna choose about a this orange for the moment. Paint bucket that in. See if that looks good. Okay, yeah, that actually looks all right. Okay, that's looking pretty good. I'm okay with that orange to start. It might change later, but for now, I like it. Then I go with the shirt. I'm actually really happy. So I've been learning a little bit of color theory and how to just be able to go and just pick colors, and I really like that I'm now able to just pick this color and just know where it is on the color spectrum. Because before I couldn't do that with I couldn't do that with this color specifically. If I can speak today, which I can't, I never can. Alright, and then we'll go and do, I don't know, the straps. We're gonna take this into somewhere in the brown section. I'm thinking like this color. That might be a little bit rich, but okay. Okay, we're gonna have to color this stuff manually, and that's fine. We're gonna color this all manually, and then it will all look good. I'll like it all. So I've actually also thought about starting playing for Spotify Premium and playing some metal on stream. I've I've debated it. I've debated it because my thought is I do like metal. And that might come as a surprise for some people, but yeah, I do. Metal has been extremely therapeutic for me. And as a result, I just have grown to love metal. But a lot of my music ends up. Oh, I didn't create a player for the shorts. But yeah, I do really like metal. It's been an absolutely amazing genre. And I started getting into it because I started working out to get over a bunch of my own problems with myself. And so metal has become been a very good thing for me. So about any metal playlist I can vibe with. I feel like this needs to be darker, but I'm gonna make this darker. There. That's about the color of normally what I make the shading, but it feels like it needs it. Okay. But so I've actually been also working on doing a little bit of video editing. So I've been video editing some clips that I took of Cabal. He's another streamer, and if you don't know of him, I highly recommend him. Been a great inspiration. I've been making some clips of him, and I've been loving the crap out of it because if you're new here, you wouldn't really know this too much, but I am actually a marketer. I'm a marketer who is going to college for marketing as well as business management. And I lost a job opportunity because, and I quote, I didn't have enough skills to bring to the table. And I'm actually going to be getting some water, but I'll continue talking. But I didn't have enough skills for them. But what they did have is they had a video editor. And these people, now I hold nothing against them. I want to make this apparently clear. Sorry, I had to get a drink. Oh, I just realized I haven't had a PNG tuber all this time. Oops. We'll fix that. Okay, PNG tuber should show up now. Yep, there we go. I'm back. The Rock is here. But they went and I hold nothing against them. Like, I genuinely understand. But I did an internship with them. But then they just didn't hire me on full after they said they would. And that's fine. I understand their reasoning. They didn't have the need for me. They didn't have the payroll to pay me, so I understand. I understand. But then what they did is they was like, "Oh, and if you ever need any uh lessons in videography, we could you could pay us and we'd teach you how to do videography." So I was like, "No." And then I promptly proceeded to start editing clips of Cab and posting them in his Discord, just video editing for fun, and now I actually know how to do video editing, so it's kind of funny. Uh So it's really funny how they're just like, "Oh yeah, we don't care about you. But by the way, if you ever want to hire us to teach you how to do video editing, because video editing is hard, we have a professional videographer here." And I was like, "Fuck that. I am going to teach it to myself." So now I know how to do video editing. And that's honestly something I'm really happy about because um I actually was creating content whenever I was in high school. I was creating League of Legends videos. Yeah, I was creating League of Legends videos. And they were trash. They were awful. There was absolutely awful League of Legends videos. And I have since purged them all. Because I genuinely do not think that they were good content. And I was like, I don't like any of these. They're they're leaving. So I promptly have removed them all. I'm sorry. I have to fix this line work. Line work's fucked. But I yeah, they was just all genuinely bad. But I wanted to be able to say I knew how to do video editing. So I'm super glad that I did end up teaching myself video editing because that's kind of something that I wanted to get into for a long time. And now I know how to do it like pretty well because I've been doing some interesting stuff with video editing. Like I figured out how to track objects and I figured out how to get things to slide in OBS, not OBS, DaVinci Resolve. I figured out a way to get whatever I'm drawing to slide around and move and probably really simple stuff to other people. But to me, I'm super happy about figuring it all out. Darker. But to me, I'm super happy to have figured it all out. And it was genuinely making me happy doing some of these edits that I did. And I quite enjoyed it. So I also edited a video from when Sleepy was in the chat about a week ago at this point, and I'm not paying attention, and then she just spray bottles me out of nowhere, and it was to me it was funny as shit. It was funny as shit, and yeah, I edited that, and I was super happy with how that turned out. Sorry, I had to cough for a moment, but I was super happy with how that turned out. Yeah, I was super happy with how that turned out. Like, it's other people would say it's probably not the greatest, but I mean, I don't care. Oh, I've been doing all this on the same. Okay, all right. I just noticed I've been doing the shoes all on the entire same layer. Okay, it's all right. It's all right. But what was I talking about? Something. Oh yeah, edited a video about Sleepy. And I've been kind of proud of myself for it because I'm really happy with how it turned out. Yeah, I'm really happy with how it turned out. It's actually sitting on my Twitter. It's actually sitting on my Twitter and it pinned comment. Pin and comment, pin post. Think about YouTube here. But I did find out that I don't like editing like multiple hours down. I did find that I don't really like that too much, which is understandable because it's just feel. But I mean, it makes sense. I'm changing this. I'm fixing this shoe. I don't know what I was thinking when I was drawing this shoe the way I did. Okay. Then I'm gonna take this down a bit right here. Alright. Now I can go back to coloring the shoe. Okay. Shoes ain't looking too bad. But yeah, I've been doing the video editing and I'm super happy to be able to do video editing now. And like it probably makes no sense and no one really cares about it, but I've been enjoying it nonetheless. Like most of them I made in less than 30 minutes, but every single time, every single one I made, I always was trying to force some different thing that I've never used before with them, which made me have to figure out how to use the tool. And by forcing myself to use all the tools, I started to understand the fundamentals and how to do video editing very well. And also my marketing background helped me because it kind of taught me how I can decide. It's weird. Like it taught me what would be engaging in a way. It kind of taught me what would be engaging in a way. So I found out ways to use what I knew would be engaging. Like I don't know, it's odd. Uh, ba, 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 ba. So I was definitely enjoying the video editing. And I'll probably continue doing that in the future. And I would like to do it for myself, but I just genuinely do not think I make good clippable content. But I'll be honest, I do think most of my clippable content would be informational as opposed to funny, which is way different. Because like Cabal is funny. Uh, what did I do? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what I did. Odd. But Cabal was definitely funny. I do not believe I'm funny. Well, I'm definitely not funny. I My friends always said I'm denser than yttrium, and I genuinely believe that is true. I don't really know how to make funny content, but what I can do is I can talk about stuff. I can talk about stuff and especially informational. I believe I can do informational stuff really well because I'll sit on here and while I'm doing art, I'll be talking basically the entire time. So I do think I can do informational stuff and talk through my methodologies of why I'm doing stuff. And I believe that part of me is pretty adept at it. I believe that part of me is pretty adept, but I'm not funny. I'm not a wordsmith. I'm not any of that. And I get a little worried. Like and then it also feels a little odd, like myself. Like I don't know. But if I do end up start clipping myself, I do think it is going to be more informational stuff or like my opinions on something. Oh, that's a great idea. That is actually a good idea. I could go and talk about myself and talk about like my ideas on how I construct art and whatnot. And while I'm doing that, I could uh, do that and make clips to make short form content. You know, I could actually do that because that is a skill set of mine. And I do want to be an information source. Like I am a proponent. I do not think we should have I believe information is being gatekept so much about everything. Like I think information should basically be free because I basically all information basically all information has to be bought. And I'm guilty of this. I absolutely agree. I'm a marketer. I'm a marketer and I'm in business management. I mean, that's literally what we're taught. Everything should be bought and sold, especially information. Like in the business world, we are literally taught information is everything. That is quite literally what we are taught on the regular. But I kind of don't agree with it, if that makes sense. Because why? It makes no sense. I don't really care for the whole the information is mine, you can't have it unless you pay for it. Information. Especially if it would help someone else. Like I don't know. I think information just should not be gatekept as much as it sometimes. But I don't know. It is what it is. I can't change it, but I gladly give any advice that I can, and that's kind of why I want this channel. I want to help people give as much information out as I can. I don't know what this. I don't know what. Oh, that is very, very red. That's fine. Fine. I'm just laying it down, and then I would go and I'll alpha lock the layer. I'll alpha lock the layer, and then I will. I'm forgetting the word. I'll just color over it. Okay, and I'm just gonna grab paint bucket. I need, but I don't think information should be gate kept and withheld as near as much as it is. But it is all the time. So, and I'm not saying this is with everything. Like with art, there's crap tons of art resources. Granted, there's crap tons more that's being bought and sold, but I mean that's just kind of how it is. People are always going to make money, and that's nothing against anyone. I mean, I understand. I gotta pay bills too. How does this look on my other monitor? It looks a little pale. But I kind of like it. Okay. So I'm actually gonna take So this is something I've been doing with hair. I'm actually probably going to start with the hair on this piece. So this is something I've been doing to start with the hair. Now I don't really know what I'm doing. This is just me trying. I take an airbrush, I alpha lock the layer. Now I'll take an airbrush tool and I'll brush the bottom parts of it. Darken the bottom parts of it. Before I go in my little handy dandy fill brush, which I'll set to about 100 pixels, but it is dynamic. But it is dynamic. So I have control over the size of it at all points. And then I'll start just cell shading some of the lines in. I'll start cell shading the lines in. Oh, this is nice. Then I just start cell shading all my colors in. And I think that that gives just a kind of nice gradient on it all, and I like it. I could change it in the future. I don't know. Oh, I just realized I've been doing all this on the same layer. I wasn't doing any of that on a clipping layer. Here I go, and at the beginning I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to do all this on a clipping layer because that makes it easier. Then I don't use a clipping layer at all. I mean, that just goes to show you don't need clips. Like I've said that before, you don't need clips. But I mean, it just makes it. And I'm lazy. And then I'm gonna just run this right along and down. And this needs to come into a point up here at the top. That'll come about like this. That'll give that a nice good shadow in here that then blends into the airbrush that we put in previously. And I do kind of want to learn to do hair better. I'll be honest. I don't think my hair at the moment is the greatest. I do want to learn how to draw hair better. And like, I'm not meaning, like the form of my hair, I'm starting to understand. But I'm meaning specifically the color. I don't really know how to color hair. I just kind of do some cell shading and call it good enough. I use flats, then I put some cell shading in, and then I'm like, yep, well, it's good. And I want it to actually be better. Dom. I have the same recycled hairstyles and the same with coloring it in. Uh, yeah, I've basically been doing the hair this exact way for a while, and I don't really know, and I'm kind of just trying to figure out how to do hair better, and I can actually I can pull up my latest one, where I actually did do hair a little different. Well, not my latest anymore. Okay, so this is the art I did most recently, where I employed this style, and I do really like it. Now, if I had to critique it, I would say that these little areas in here, some of the top ones don't blend in enough. So I'm gonna try making them pop a little bit more on this one. And I've learned a little bit more about the form and the shape of hair. on this piece, so I hope that eventually I'll start to understand exactly what to do. Because I see so many other people doing hair, and I'm just sitting there like, that's impressive. I see so many people doing hair, and I'm just like, that's impressive. But I can't figure out how to do it. I'll be honest. I've been trying a little bit. But I mean, it's just, I haven't put enough time in it. I've only been doing art for about, yeah, that's another fun fact. I've only been doing art for about, let's see, I started in May of last year, so about 8 months, 9 months maybe. And yeah, and that's an extremely short time, so I really shouldn't be this hard on myself. But I've been trying to figure out a bunch of stuff. I actually finally somewhat figured out how to do hands. Do I even have hands on this one? No, I hid the hand. Couldn't remember. I'd completely forgotten. What else am I? The lights coming in from the top. It's all gonna be shit. This over here, just a little bit around the edge. Little bit around that edge will be shaded. I still need to put a highlight in up top, a rim light or whatever it's called. I don't know. And I think a little bit of this down here then be shaded out. Damn, you're farther than I am in such a short time, and I've been drawing since I was 4. Um, Here, I will open. Got my first piece over here. This was so I've actually been putting a lot of dedicated practice into drawing. This was the first piece I made, and you can see 5, 6 of 22. So that what's that about? Somewhere around there? Yeah. So this was the first piece I ever did. And I like bringing it back occasionally and just looking at it and being like, man, this is trash. And I don't want to roast myself too much, but yeah, I I had good ideas. And fun fact, this is the same character I'm drawing now. You can see how unbelievably much I've changed with her. Like she's not even the same character anymore practically. But this was the first rendition. No, I've been I have been putting a ungodly amount of time into all of my art. I mean, right now, but it's say about talent versus workers. Yes, it absolutely is. Like this is not okay. This is not my first ever piece I ever drew because I mean, obviously I scribbled whenever I was in class at college because I was bored and I had nothing else to do. You know, you do the good old got the good old lines. You got, all your classic scribbles and you have all your classic scribbles that you have and that everyone does here and there. I'm the talent kid and it's 17 years to get where I am now. I mean, yeah, you don't okay. If I have one suggestion, I feel like you're comparing yourself to a bunch of other people, and I think comparison is the thief of joy. Because my sister, it has been such a more amazing artist than me. Like she's been doing art in our family. There's only one artist, and that was always her. I didn't pick up art until very recently into my college years, but my sister's been doing art for years and years and years. And for a while, I was comparing myself to her, and it was it really ragged on me for a little while because I was just comparing myself to my sister over and over and over. And I do genuinely think it was taking away from my joy of doing art. So if I had, and you might not be, and that's fine. I'm trying to be very open on this channel. And because I believe if my struggle can help anyone, then I'm super happy. Because, yeah, very much. I used to compare myself to my sister specifically a lot. I don't really like that. But yeah, I used to compare myself all the time, and it genuinely took away from a lot of my joy with the creation process. So I would just like to edge a little moment of caution if you're comparing yourself too much, because I genuinely do think comparison is joy. Not, I don't know how to do this highlight up on top. Like I don't think I can get it to. I compare for two reasons: to see what I'm lacking and see how I approach a new piece. But yeah, sometimes it can feel a bit as. No, that's understandable. Like, okay, I compare. Okay, we're naturally going to compare art all the time. Also, is my EQ fucked up? Like, is the background music drowning me out by any means? If it is, please just yell at me. Like, sometimes the music can get a little bit dank, and I apologize for that. But no, comparing for just to see where you can be better is understandable. But I'm meaning just purely negative. Now I'm good. All right, thank you. Because I've had fucked up EQ before, and then you're just sitting there and I go back and then someone like you comes in and is like, your music is just a wee bit dank. And then was talking to someone the entire time and I feel bad. But yeah, to figure out where you can do stuff better is understandable. Like, I mean, we all do that. I do it especially, and that's how I've gotten to this point. But I'm meaning just more of purely negative stuff. Like, I was just comparing myself to others and just being like, oh man, their art's so good. Oh, I have specific examples. Okay. I was comparing myself to a guy named Cabal. All right, he's a VTuber here on Twitch as well. He actually inspired me to do art. Now, so I was always like, man, I've been doing art for, and I always round it up to a year. I was like, I've been doing art for almost a year, and I'm not, I have like 5% of the skill as this guy over here. And it just kept weighing on me. And like, even, especially whenever I was streaming, that that same feeling kept coming back. Like I could not get rid of that feeling while streaming. So I ended up taking a few weeks off of it. So I was like, I need to clear my head. I'm getting inside my head a little bit. So I took a little bit of time off. I think about this last week. I actually kind of just came back from that this week. But I was just really feeling crap about myself. What am I doing? Oh yeah, I'm using the lasso. But I was feeling really crap about my art because I was like, man, this person's been doing art for, and I only have like a quarter of their skill. I only have like a fragment of their skill. And now that's actually a thing of, now I like to use that as a bit of glory because I'm like, I've been doing art for, and I'm not saying I'm better than any of these because obviously it's a learning curve. Now I'm just like, I've been doing art for like 6 months, and I have like 1% of this person's skill. I'm like, and they've been doing it for like 30 years. I've gotten to be really proud of myself for all that. And so sometimes I just want to say, I want you to take into mind some of everyone's got a journey. It doesn't have to be the fastest, it doesn't have to be the greatest, but everyone does have a journey. And yours is no less valid than anyone else's. So don't discredit your journey like I was. So I was heavily discrediting my own journey. And it weighed on myself way too much. Even though every time some of the regular people come in, they're always like, "Oh yeah, no, your art's amazing." I'm always just like, it's kind of alright. Fucked up. Fucked up. There we go. Music's back. So, you should always take into mind constructive positions whenever you're comparing. Oh, and this is another trick I recently learned. So, if you just use, I was trying to figure out how to do these very sharp hair highlights, and I couldn't figure out how to do them for the life of me. But then I went and I seen someone doing it with a lasso tool, and they literally just kind of moved the lasso around like this, and then just hit a fill bucket. And I was like, that's genius. And it makes it look nice and sharp and everything. I might be screwing all this up, I don't know. But I was like, that's genius. Look, see, I think that actually looks pretty. I'm gonna mess around with the opacity a little bit. So it's not gonna look exactly the same, but it'll be fine. Okay, and then I'm gonna lower the opacity to about 75%. There we go. Maybe. I might try. You know what? I don't get. You know what I don't get is why artists get. Are you saying mad at you giving them suggestions on how to do something they way you would do it? I'm like, swallow your pride and take the knowledge. It might help you. Time and headache. Okay. The only thing I can think is it's probably situation and tonology. Like, how do I put this? We lose a lot of cues and how do I put this? Pitch and tonology whenever you're just text on a screen. So sometimes it can be misconstrued as asshole-ish if you're just come in here and say like, you should be doing this better. I can see it being that way. So I mean, I understand it, but I don't think we should get mad at anyone for trying to be helpful. Like if, for instance, you came in here and you was like, okay, no, I got a better example. Beans, who comes in here all the time. He'll come in and just be like, I need to create a new layer. I'm gonna show this off in blue. He'll be like, man, for sure, even in person, yeah. He's like, man, your face looks like a C. Because like, for a while, my face line was literally, that was my face lines. While I was still a little bit lower skill, he's like, man, that face looks like a C. You could sail the 7 seas with that C of a face. And I understand it, but, and especially, okay, part of the reason I titled today, everyday stream where I do art as Road to Being a Good Artist is I do want people to have suggestions. Like I've had Beans come in here, I've had Sleepy come in here, and they give examples, suggestions, and they're like, hey, um, I think this can be slightly better if you do it in a slightly different way, and they'll kind of walk me through how they think it will work, because I want to create an atmosphere of self-growth and growth among the community in this stream. And that's what I've been working on creating this entire time. And the few people that's here, I genuinely enjoy all of them. And they will tell me. They'll be like, "Hey, now I will give you some pointers, but I'm no position to do so. One, I'm not confident in my art, and two, I'm a bad teacher." I mean, all I'm saying, like, I didn't get this, I didn't get to here without no suggestions whatsoever. So I mean, if you have an idea, even like for instance, this line right here is wrong. Like if you have any suggestions, you can point them out, and that's all right. Like I can understand being unsure about your ability to teach. Like I've been a leader for years. So I've been forced into positions where I have to teach other people, so I understand. And I'm not going to force you to give suggestions. Not required. You just can sit here and vibe, and that's all that matters. You can just sit here and vibe, and that's all that matters. All right, we're going to start with the shawl thing. Why am I on a lasso tool? Okay, why did... Okay, my stuff's not broke anymore. Sorry. All my stuff, like, shit itself. Quite literally, all my stuff just shit itself all of a sudden. But, I mean, honestly, just, if you have a suggestion, just throw it out there. It's alright. I'll move slightly more towards the red zone. Just simple anatomy stuff that will help you slightly advance while letting you put your own twist on it. Yeah. No, especially anatomy. Anatomy... Anatomy's rough. Like, okay. This pose, I have been working on for about a week now, just to get this pose the way I wanted it. Because this was... Okay. Here, I want to show the reference picture as well. I kind of overlaid it to try to figure it out once I started getting aggravated with it all. But I don't know where I got this one, but I know I got this image from Twitter. I don't know. You could probably check my Twitter likes, and it's somewhere in there. But I wanted this pose, or I wanted to try to figure out how to do pose. And you can see, and I was trying to figure it out all on my own. You can see, I think I kind of got the upper body right. But the lower body, I didn't twist it the way I wanted it to. Like, this all needed to be twisted in space, and I didn't do any of that. So, even though I love this face. Can I just say that? I love how this face turned out. Absolutely love the shit out of this face. Amazing. One of the better faces I've ever drawn, which makes me so mad that I screwed up the pose. But whatever. But I was trying to get this face, and I could not figure it out for the life of me. But I think I eventually got close. I'll tell you what is something I do, but it's not always freehand. Everything, for the most part, is break things into shapes. But yeah. Oh no, I do that. Where is my line art? Do I actually even have a good line art? I don't even know if I have a good line art for this sketch. Okay. Oh, I do. Okay, so this was my first... What the... I have other ones, right? Yeah. Okay, finally got it. Yeah, no, this is typically how I'll break down my anatomy. I break down to squares. I've also seen people do ovals. Why? Why is CSP being an asshole? Yeah, I've also seen people break break these down into ovals. And I mean, either works. It's whatever. I'll tell you, but yeah. So yeah, definitely breaking things down into shapes. But like, even with these shapes made this way, I still misconstrued the entire sketch itself. I still ended up misconstruing the entire sketch itself. Personally, the squares don't help me. I can't find something. I don't know. Squares work for me. The squares end up working for me. I don't know what's different about me. Oh, hold on. I took a drink of water and died. Okay, I'm better now. I like took a drink of water and then I swallowed it and it got stuck in my throat. Oh, I just died. I'm better now. But yeah, no. So I do use, I don't know why. I just use squares. Um, that's just what I feel comfortable with. I do squares and then lines and circles for the joints. Circles represent articulation for me. And I mean, I've also seen people use cylinders for arms. I've also seen people use cylinders for arms. And I mean, that's completely valid. Like, however art makes sense for you is literally all you need to do. However art makes sense for you is how it matters, is all that matters. Because the way that the world, art is all about your representation of the world. That is all art is art is your way of representing the world. So, however it works is all that matters. And for my case in point, I don't know who it is, but there's this guy on Twitter, and his art is very stylized. But every single time, like he'll have a going back to this layer, he'll have a hip right here, and then he'll have the torso just up here, and then connecting it is like that. But his art is all very interesting. And he made a post about it once. I wish I knew this person's name, but it's completely leaving me at the moment. But he has very stylized art, and it's interesting because of it. So like even though his anatomy is completely fucked, it doesn't matter because it's stylized in a fact of where he knows how to use it, and it looks good. And that can boggle my mind how you can break anatomy, but in a stylized manner where it still works. And anyone that can do that is an absolute genius. Like I break anatomy and it looks trash. But yeah, so it's art is just about how you break down the world. That's all art is. That's all it matters, and it's amazing. I genuinely find art interesting, and that's why I kind of got into it. So actually, kind of a fun fact. I kind of got into art because of I was kind of just bored with college. I was like, I want something where I'm creating stuff. And so I started doing art. But before I even got into art, and this is kind of off topic, but it's interesting in my opinion. Is before I started doing art, I was like, I want to do something. I gave myself an option. I either wanted to learn to play the piano or I wanted to do art. And I said I'd do one of them. So I also kind of thought about playing piano. So I always think it's interesting that if I wasn't doing this, I'd be playing the piano. And I might actually still learn the piano in the future after I figure out art and how to do art and I can call myself a good artist. Who knows? I may even do that on stream someday. Probably not. Probably not. Because I do not have musical talent. Let me just tell you that. I was in band all through middle school. I do three things: editing, guitar, and art. Oh, you do editing too? Okay. I can go in my editing talk again in guitar. I have a buddy that plays guitar. Or played guitar. I don't know if he still does. I don't think he does anymore. Kind of a shame. But, uh, so like editing, like video editing? Are you talking like video editing specifically? Yeah. Yeah. So I've been dabbling in some video editing. And, um, I'm really proud of myself. I'm just starting learning. Same. Okay. So this is in no means necessary or recommended or anything, but all right. I do not think I have very good editable content, and this actually ties all the way back into a conversation I had with myself before I think you joined. You might have joined by this point. I don't know. But I wa I do not think I have very good editable content. So I started editing content and just making clips of one of my favorite VTubers who is Cabal. I genuinely love this man. He's inspired me to do everything that I've done. I'll be honest. He inspired me to start streaming. He's inspired me on an art. Like he's a genuinely good creator, and I love the shit out of him. But so he's very funny though. And I was like, I don't think I have good content where I can edit it. And I'm like, I'm just speaking completely frank here. Like I don't know how to make jokes happen. Like when jokes happen, they just happen. I think if I was going to do edited content for myself, I think it would just be more informational stuff or like my ideas or whatever because I'll say state my ideas and stuff all day long. I have no problem with that. But Cabal has actual funny editable content. So I had a moment like last week where yeah, last week where one of my friends in streaming, Sleepy, came by and I'm just sitting here and I was actually working on this piece. I was actually working on this piece here when she came by. And uh so I have you can see the exclamation point TTS at the end of my title, but there's a reason for that because you can go exclamation point TTS and then your message and then I have a TTS bot that runs and will spread say whatever you put in TTS. Please keep it clean. I don't want any bad things. I don't want any bad things being used with my TTS bot, I'll be honest. But I was just sitting here focusing for a moment, and I was like, I don't know what's going on. I kind of messed up the anatomy here. And then Sleepy just went and just does the spray bottle sound. And I'm like, I kind of got a little aggravated for a moment. But Sleepy had this stupid ass emote, and it was hilarious. It was just a stupid looking cat that scrolled in from the side, and you just know she was just smirking behind it, and it's like, and I just lost it. I lost it laughing, and it was just an absolutely funny content. And if you want to know that clip, it's actually posted on my Twitter, and I'm really proud of it. Like, is there problems with it a little bit? Yeah, there's a few problems with it, but I love that, and that's kind of what got me into video editing was I wanted to bring that clip to life, that clip specifically, because it's glorious. I love it. I love it, and that's why I put this TTS bot in here, just because I wanted moments like that to happen. I wanted moments like that to happen where people are able to interact, and I've loved using it. Even though, yes, sometimes while I'm working, Sleepy would just come in here randomly and just spray bottle me, and it's like, oh, okay. And here's the thing. I'm happy that I have a friend group to build off of. I'm not as funny as them, but I want people to see them. Oh, so you have like a friend group of like streamers that you make clips of, for instance. But yeah, no, especially having friends like Sleepy being a friend of the community has been an absolute blessing. She's amazing. Non-streamers, just my goon squad. All right, I'm confused. I'm just a little bit confused here. Uh, so like, do you guys just play games together and you constantly have a replayer set up, replay capturing what's going on, or I'm confused. I'm just a little bit confused by it. Okay, I think this is a little okay for that part. But yeah, so I started editing some of Cabal's some clips I was making of Cabal, just because I was like, this is funny. Yeah, we play games, podcasting, it's just hanging out, and then the random funny, and then we say random stuff that's funny. Okay. Um, I would. Okay, so by podcasting, you guys are still doing some content creation. That's fine. Now, that's fine. I was just a little bit confused there. Thank you for clarifying, though. So actually, there's this fun fact. I have worked on a podcast before. Oh, oh, man, that is such a great topic to talk about. Okay, so um, it has been only about a year that I've even been like cared about Twitch. So I got a job working as a podcast creator for a local nonprofit as part of my internship. I worked with a bunch of businesses to create highlights, to create podcast about them with local businesses to help grow them and bring the community's attention to these businesses. And I hated podcasts, by the way. And even now, I'll be honest, they're not my favorite thing in the world. But I just want to say, I now have a hugely open mind that I just haven't found one that I like. Like the SCP archives, everyone was like, "Oh yeah, that's a great podcast." I'm like, I could take it or leave it. I'm like, I could take it or leave it. It's okay. Like, not to yuck anyone's yum, but like, it's all right. But my job, where I was creating podcasts, they're like, do you know anything about podcasts? I'm like, people get on there and talk. And I was like, yeah, okay. Do you know anything about how they're set up? No. Okay, well, that's your first job. You're gonna like, while you're on the clock, you're going to be playing podcast and learning from them. And I was like, are you kidding me? And they was like, yes, that is your job. So I ended up getting used to having podcasts playing all the time in the background while I was working, etc., etc. Now I have ADHD, so I've always had music playing. Like I quite literally cannot function hardly without music playing in the background. Now, so I got really good at creating these podcasts to the point where my job was like, okay, you don't have to work, you don't have to be playing podcast anymore. I was like, hallelujah, we're done. The great podcasting is over. Now, we'll fast forward 2 days after they removed this rule. I was sitting working, trying to work out a podcast, creating a podcast, and something felt wrong. Something was missing from my workflow. And I went to YouTube to play music. And guess what? It then dawned on me. I already had music playing, but something felt wrong. It was at that point I realized, oh no, I've gotten used to having podcast playing in the background. And it was at that moment I got really mad. I was like, are you kidding me? I was like, I don't even like any of the podcast I was listening to. I was like, I don't like any of them. But I got so used to them playing, it didn't matter. And I was so mad. So unbelievably mad. Now, at this point, I didn't care about Twitch. Like, all before this point, I was like, I could take or leave Twitch, I'll be honest. Like, I came to Twitch briefly whenever VTubers just started becoming mainstream. I'm talking like 20, what was it, like 2020? Yeah, about mid 2020, like peak COVID. I think Snuffy was just starting. I think Juniper was just starting at this point. Oh no, Snuffy was just starting to take off. Juniper, I think, was just starting at this point. Saraway, I think, was just starting at this point, but I could be wrong about that one. I genuinely don't know. I genuinely don't know. I didn't really pay much attention at that point. But, and I found VTubers, and I was like, I can take them or leave them. Or, okay. Really, I wanted to distance myself from them because I was in a horrible situation at the time. I hated myself, and uh, there was the whole stigma at the start that VTubers are just for sad, lonely people. And so, as being a sad, lonely person, I decided to distance myself from the stigma, even though I do like anime. So I tried to distance myself from that stigma, and that was what was healthy for me at the time. So I could just honestly take or leave VTubers. But that day, when I was like, man, I'm so mad, I need something to play. That's why I barely watch anime. It's just entertainment. That's my thoughts on it now. All it is, it's just entertainment. Like, I'm not gonna deny, I've watched anime for a long time. And it's just entertainment. Just like watching a TV show. Same thing with VTubers. Like, all we are is entertainment. We're just as valid as face streamers. We're just as valid as no face streamers. I mean, it's all whatever. But that day, and I don't know why to this day, a Shy Lily clip from day 17 of her subathon came up, and I started laughing at it. I started laughing at this clip. And at that point, I was like, okay, this person is funny. I'm going to check them out. If they're live, I'll give them a shot. And ever since that day, I've been on Twitch. And now, there's a funny thing, because before I hated Twitch, because I was like, it's like long content, it's not as funny, it's not as condensed as the YouTube format, yada yada yada. Didn't really care for it much. Now, I prefer Twitch, because it's live. Because Twitch is live. And so I quite literally have Shy Lily's day 17 clip of her subathon, because it was like day 22 whenever I tuned in or something like that. I don't remember. But so quite literally, that was how I even got brought to Twitch, and then now I'm streaming. And yeah. What was I talking about again? Oh yeah, I hate podcasts. Moral of the story, I hate podcasts. I used to work on a podcast. And one day I realized that I needed someone talking in the background. I got really mad at myself, and then now I watch Twitch. So That was probably more than you bargained for. How did we even get started on that? Oh yeah, video editing. Forgot about that. Yeah, so I'm sorry. I go off the rails talking sometimes. But yeah, that's how I even came to Twitch. And this is a great platform. Like I wouldn't trade this platform anywhere else. Like there's so many great people on here. And here's another thing. I also thought like all content creators were assholes at the time. I was like, if you're a content creator, you're probably an asshole. And then now I've gotten to know because like for instance, back at that time, whenever it was like 2020, yeah, 2020, I watched a lot of solo Renekton only. He's a League of Legends top main who used to only ever play Renekton. Now he plays a bunch of other champs. I knew he was a major asshole on stream. Like, and that's fine. That's his content. It's whatever. Like, he can do whatever he wants. But I always just thought that all content creators were just assholes, period. And then I started actually coming to Twitch, and I was like, no, most of these guys are actually like, the VTubers thing started for me when I was playing Valorant, and I dunked on a stream that my friend knew. And I thought to myself, what if I climbed my way as a VTuber just to dunk on them in game? And then I chilled out and played fighting games and art stream. That's fucking cool. Like mine is just, oh yeah, I started working on a podcast and eventually migrated my way onto Twitch. And then yours is like, man, I found a VTuber, I dunked on them on stream, and then I became the VTuber. No, you quite literally, oh, it's quite literally the meme of, became the very thing you became the very thing you swore to destroy from Star Wars. I think that was Star Wars. You're supposed to destroy the Sith, not join them. There we go. I finally managed to place it. That's quite literally you. That's amazing. That's quite literally amazing. What fighting games do you play? It's I started with villainous intent only to become part of the stream, part of the team. Yeah. I became a VTuber. Okay, if you want my true story of like how I ended up becoming a VTuber instead of a base game streamer, it's a mixture of like two reasons. So one, I played Guilty Gear. Played a little bit Guilty. Uh, I'll get to that. I'll get to the fighting games after I finish my current thought, because otherwise I'll lose it forever. Shoot, I lost my thought. Oh yeah, I became a VTuber because, mostly because, like, I'm a little self-conscious about my face, even though I'm like pretty athletic and I think I look fine. Gets a little bit more nervous where I'm just putting myself out there for like people to see. And also, my face has been published in like in like national business reports and newsletters. And I'm like, yeah, let's not. And I just became like, yeah, let's not. And that's really why. But like, yeah. Okay, back to the fighting games. Man, I've wanted to play fighting games. So I played a little bit of Guilty Gear. But man, like every fighting game it feels like there's just such a skill diff. Like once I play with anyone, it's just always like, oh, okay, I'm just gonna play this and I'm just gonna be casual and have fun. And then there's just some guy and it's like, I didn't even get to hit him. And I'm dead. I've already lost. And at that point I'm like, I'm not even having fun with this. I'm like, I'm not even having fun with this. Like, I'm not even getting to play the game. Bruh, I have the curse of not being able to 3-0 someone. Yeah, I'm the person here. Why don't I get GGS, and then you can 3-0 me, so then you can fulfill the prophecy of the dunking on VTubers. That's quite literally what it would all be. Because that's quite literally what it would be. But yeah, and it's just like I'm just not having fun with this, and it might just be an idea thing. Because I've played Super Smash Bros. For years. Okay, like that was always like my friend group's thing in high school. Like we played Smash Bros. I was in Pep Band, bruh. I've shit on other VTubers. I thought I thought we're good, but it turns out when it's all on the line, I go God mode. Dude, I respect the shit out of it. Because I am trash. Like yesterday I was playing oh, what's that game called? Hyper Light Drifters. There we go. I was playing Hyper Light Drifters yesterday and I was like, man, I am hot garbage. I was like, that was so stupid of me to die there, but I did. So I'm just hot garbage. Like I'm quite being honest. Like I'm just hot garbage. But I also but racing games are my bread and butter. Dude, you play the games I want to play. Because like I want to play like Forza. Because I see people like making custom cars. Like, okay, going back to anime. Um shoot, what's Senku from I don't remember the anime. Why? Why? No, not Initial D. I seen someone in Forza with a Senku car, and I'm like, that literally just makes me want to play racing games. And racing games look so cool. But here's the thing, I know the moment I play racing games, I'm just not going to be able to compete. Period. And I'm just going to get stunted on. I'm just going to get stunted on every single time. And at that point, am I even having fun? And like, that's just my way with everything. Like, I've played League of Legends for years, and I'm still trash at it. But then again, I don't really want to be God tier at League anymore. Like, now I just play with friends and I just fuck around and have a fun time. But I played Smash for years with friends, and I'm still trash at it. Like, makes no sense how I can put that many hours into learning Smash Bros. And I'm just hot garbage. I'm just hot garbage. Absolute hot garbage. So I kind of just tend to stay away from honestly anything PvP. Honestly, anything PvP, I just stay away from most of the time. Like lately I've been actually playing a lot of 7 Days to Die whenever I have time. I have a big ego to let someone beat me in a racing game, like when I played Mario Kart and I was first place when driving skill, but lost because oh the fucking blue shell. The fucking blue shell, my man. I mean, we've all been there though. We've all been there, but it doesn't feel any better. Ah, music fucked. Yeah, we've all been there. But yeah, like I've wanted to play Forza, but just so many good people at it. There's so many good people at all racing games and all fighting games that whenever I play them, I'm just always like, I want to be having fun. And like it's so strange because I want to have fun, but I just can't. And it always feels so horrible. Because, like, Guilty Gear, for instance. I want to get into Guilty Gear. Because, like, May just looks like a fun. My friend prayed for my downfall. God, that's a mood. That's a mood. But, like, what was I talking about? Something, something, something. Oh, yeah. Like, I want to play GGS because May just looks fun, and there's just so many characters that just look fun. But I can't play it to save my life. Like, I think I played it a few times. I think I played it a few times in like a demo or something. And I was just like, I have no skill at this. So at that point, I just kind of just decided not to play it. And it's just like it's sad. Maybe it was that friend. Maybe it was that the one guy at college that I crashed at his dorm once. I don't know. Can't remember. Can't remember where I played it. But I played it, and it's just I'm just I want to like that. I got into Guilty Gear because my friend and I thought he was cracked, but it turns out I was just a beginner, and now he complains when I beat. Hey, why BS? Do you? Hi? Is that a character? I don't know. I don't know many. I only know Jacko because of the iconic Jacko pose. Kai is a character. All right, thank you. I know Kai because not Kai. Man, I'm fucking myself up now. I know Jacko because of the iconic Jacko pose. I know Bridget because I think like Bridget had some sort of controversy about Bridget and no one knowing what gender Bridget is. As a result, I don't know what gender Bridget is. I'll be honest. I'll be honest. I don't know what gender Bridget is because of it. And I know Faust. Is there any others? I think Ino is a character. Ino. It's like he has a little like ghost thing that he has that he switches between attacking with himself and the ghost to combo off something, something, something. Don't understand. Am I like any remotely close? But yeah, May, Jacko. Oh shoot, there's the hair chick, isn't there? There's the chick that fights with the hair. Blonde, I think. Yeah, that's about it. Bridget is a dude, but they updated it to where he now goes by she, or he goes by she now, which I don't care. I hate that yo-yo finger. Oh, that's not fingering. I thought you said yo-yo fingering, asshole. And I'm like, how is that not auto-modded? Oh, okay. That yo-yo flinging asshole. You see, it's kind of funny because I do think Bridge is neat because I do know about the yo-yo, and I'm like, honestly, that's just hilarious. Kind of like May and just throwing a fucking beach ball at someone. I don't doubt that she. No comment. No comment. I have no clue. But shoot. Yeah, I don't know anything about it. I'm not that worried about it. But yeah, and like I want to get into fighting games. It's just and I've played a bunch of them. Like I played Smash forever. I played shoot, what am I thinking of? Brawl Stars. I played Brawl Stars for a long. Is that what it's called? Brawl Stars on Steam? I don't know. I'm not checking at the moment. I'm not gonna let my ADHD take over that much. And I want to get better at them, but like, I just don't ever have fun playing them, but I want to have fun. It's rough. All you need to know is you don't pick the right character. Bad time, if, or you're gonna get hated on like me. I play Guy. I mean, yeah, probably. And that's also something. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to metaphorically yuck anyone's yum, but like, I feel like in fighting games, it's so often just like 5 characters or something are just better. Like fucking don't Diddy Kong in Smash Bros on the 3DS was fucking absurd. He was just fucking absurd. And Bayonetta as well, whenever Bayonetta got released on the 3DS, was fucking absurd. Like if you had 3.5 brain cells and you played Bayonetta, you just won. If you had 3 brain cells and you picked Bayonetta, you just won. And like that was all there was to it. I'm actually gonna fix this line because I kind of fucked it up earlier. So it, and that also does get annoying because like sometimes it's just, oh, you play let's say you pick Ganondorf, and someone else. Oh, that's why. They're gonna have a meme. They have a meme in GGS. Community called it ain't no. I ain't gonna sugarcoat it, meaning that character's moves are BS. Yeah, like Diddy Kong in Smash Bros was just fucking absurd. And Bayonetta, whenever they released Bayonetta, Bayonetta was just fucking absurd. And you're just sitting there, and like, in the 3DS, I liked playing Lucario, who was quite literally probably the worst character in the game. Probably. Just absolutely atrocious character. And I eventually picked up Zero Suit Samus. But it just feels like there a lot of the time, just like a few characters are just so fucking busted in a fighting game roster that's just like, okay. Oh, you played Smash 4? I play Ike and Little Mac. I can respect that. I moved Ike and Little Mac after promptly abandoning Lucario because Lucario played like ass. Like, I'm sorry, Lucario just played like ass most of the time. It felt like. Like, it didn't even feel like skill issue a lot of the time. Lucario just felt like ass. But I mean, it might have just been skill issue, and I might just be salty. I don't know. But yeah, no, I played Ike and Little Mac. I ended up, after I abandoned Lucario, I played stuff like Ike, Little Mac, and as my Agile, I played Zero Suit Samus. Because Zero Suit Samus is funny. But if you get caught as Zero Suit Samus, you're fucked. My Ike on Smash 4 was very good. I have Ultimate now, and I'm not used to the version yet. I want to play more Smash, but I don't have time. I honestly just don't have time. Like, I barely get by my life as is now. I cannot. Like, I feel so bad. There's so many games I want to play, but I just absolutely cannot. There's so many games I absolutely want to play, but I just cannot. Time. Like, for instance, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. I want to play that game so fucking bad. And you want to know where it is? It is sitting across the room in my 3DS. In my 3DS. Wow. 3DS can play it. in my Switch. It is quite literally just sitting over there in my Switch. But I have not had time to play it. And now you might think, oh, well, you could stream it. And that was my original idea. I was like, I am going to stream Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. And then I found out I needed a capture card in order to do that. And by the way, have I told you I'm streaming from a laptop? I'm like, what the fuck do I do? There's nothing I can do. Or can't stream it. So I want to do so much, but I have no time. I want to do so much, but I have no time whatsoever to do any of it. And it's really just feels bad. It's like I want to play so many games. I just can't. Color. I'll be okay. And yeah, and that might be part of why I'm just not good at fighting games. Or just really any PvP game in general. Like Apex, I want to play Apex. Like there are so many characters that look fucking cool in Apex. Like I love Valkyrie's design. I want to play Valkyrie. But like I cannot get into Apex in the slightest. Because every single time I drop, it turns out another team dropped right beside me, and then I got gunned down in 5 seconds. I'm like, oh, okay. And then I see all these people, and they're literally hopping off walls over me while firing, hitting headshots the entire time on me. And I'm like, when do I get to play? So, it's another one. And like, I want to play Apex, but it's just. People just slide around doing all kinds of bullshit on there, and I'm like, I'm not into this. And it is just me being a little bit salty about skill issue. And I mean, I'm not going to deny that. Like, I'm jealous of them. But I shouldn't be, because I just don't have the time to play it. But that's exactly it. I don't have the time to play it, to learn it, to be able to do this absurd bullshit jumping off walls 8 different times to scale cliffs and whatnots. Because, like, I've seen the people that play Octane. Some of the people that play Octane, you fight them in a building, they're Spider-Manning off of everything, and you're just sitting there like, what? How do you land bullets? Either party involved. How? And it's always just weird. It's always just weird. I never know what to do. So I just promptly proceeded to stop playing Apex. Apex is one movement shooter. I don't mess with it. I 100% understand because I messed with it and promptly became confused and have not messed with it since. Because like Apex gets absurd. I'm sorry. But like people that play Apex are just a different fucking breed. And that's another breed that I don't want to mess with. So I just tend to play like single player survivals. I just play single player survivals. That's my comfort zone. Please I'll just there. I only played because I got invited. I understand that. That's the only reason I play League. The only time I play League is when my friend's playing League. The only time I play League of Legends is when my friend plays League of Legends. You know, I want to stop just cel shading everything and get to being where I'm actually like painting colors on everything. But I always, before I notice it, realize that I'm cel shading everything again. And I'll work on it on the next piece. Next piece I'm going to do is going to be a portrait. I've already decided that. And with that, I'm going to try to mimic Sulia, DH. I'm going to try to mimic her style a little bit. Because she will absolutely paint the shit out of skin. Impressive. But yeah, no, like people that play Apex, you can brush pen and pencil. There are brush pen and pencil download. Oh yeah, I got. Yeah, I mean I got some. I got several. I just what the? Am I going crazy? I think I'm going crazy. I don't know. Okay. But like, yeah, I mean I got a bunch of brushes and stuff. I just tend to cell shade everything. And it's a bad habit, and I should really just stop it and actually like learn how to. I need to learn how I need to actually images, but like cell shading is comfy. And I see people that do cell shading, and it looks like 10 times better than mine. So I'm like, I know cell shading can look good. It's just, I just doesn't work when I do it. If I say that, this is actually looking right. And I mean, I don't know. I really shouldn't be that. This goes back into my, as I briefly mentioned earlier, I shouldn't be hard on myself with art. Like I'm always hard on myself with art, and I really should not be. But I mean, it's that way with everyone. Like I want to be better at art, so I push myself to be better at art. That's why I've gotten so good. But I mean, there's a point where because like I actually kind of took a little bit of a self-evaluation a little bit ago. This was kind of when I was on my break a little bit. I was like, okay, how how did I want to do art whenever I started? Which images? I was like, how did I want to do art whenever I started? And I looked at this image. This image right here. This is how I wanted to be able to do art whenever I started. Which, I mean, I'm still gonna shade the skin manually. I mean, that's fine. I have no problem shading the skin, and I like doing that. But this is how I wanted to be able to do art. This is the level I wanted to be able to do art whenever I started. That was my, like, 5-year goal with art. I'm there already. So, I mean, it's fine. I'm still learning. Oh, I just realized the song that was playing. This is a song I absolutely love. But but I don't remember what I was talking about for any of that. Oh yeah, brushes. Um, yeah. I mean, there are brushes I could and get, but like, I'm fine how I'm doing it now. I'm just being a little bit hard on myself. Like, I like how this is looking. Don't get me wrong. Like, I do like the cell shading I've been doing. I think it looks nice. I think it looks crisp. I think it looks clean. But I mean, I just sometimes I just go and I'm like, I shouldn't be cell shading this. Ultimately, it's whatever. Yeah, ultimately, it's meh, whatever. What? Yeah, ultimately, it's meh, whatever. But I still nonetheless have the thoughts where I'm like, yeah, I shouldn't be cell shading this much. But I do like cell shading. Like, I'm not saying cell shading is wrong. I do like cell shading. Because what cell shading would do is cell shading will teach you absolutes with shadows. And it will teach you to simplify shadows into shapes. Which is kind of why I just started doing cell shading in the first place. Cell shading will teach you to simplify shadows into just basic shapes. Everything with art is shapes. Shadows are no different. So you quite literally learn, okay, here is a shadow, here is not. Here is shadow, here is not. And you learn to be able to break it down to manage shadows effectively by just having that just very basic idea. Is it shadow or is it not? Which is why I'm not too hard on myself, because like I still understand shadow and not. And every time I do cell shading, I'm just practicing the idea of shadow or not, shadow or not. And beyond that, it's just kind of like, it's fine. But I will take your advice. I do need to go searching for like painting brushes that actually make sense to me. Because like all I use now is just a round opacity brush. And trying to do hair with that son of a bitch, fucking annoying. Like, and that's what part of my, what I said earlier, where I don't know how to do hair. I need to learn. I need to learn and get a new brush that will help me color hair. Because beyond doing it how I am, doing it with an opacity brush is a little bit miserable. I'm not gonna lie. Like, if you can do it with a round brush, you can do it with anything. But I do art as a hobby. I'm not doing art to be a professional. Like, I've said this before. Same with streaming. Same with streaming. I just do art to be as a hobby. Like, this is just fun for me. And I actually had one person come in here and ask about commissions. And I was promptly, and I was very respectful. I was like, no, I do not do commissions. I do art for my own satisfaction. I've only ever worked on one commission, and it was for a friend because he asked me to. And that was an IRL friend. And even then, I never completed it because it was Alien versus Predator. And I don't know how to draw that stuff for shit. And I couldn't do the medium justice. I could not do the medium justice because it made no sense to me. All right, that shading's like pretty nice. So I kind of want this to be a shaded right in. There we go. I think that looks pretty. I think that's. And then now here's where I kind of fucked up a lot of shit. I put multiple things on the same layer. Here's an oops, but oh well. I know how I can fix it. I want to create a new layer. I'm going to color pick this. Go to my paint bucket. Fill these in. Okay. Then we'll just keep them placed on top and it'll be fine. Oh, brother, I'm having a big ego moment checking out. Now checking out this other streamer art and I'm trying to. I'm a little bit confused. What do you out this other streamer art? I'm trying to stop that. What do you mean stop that? Like stop your ego? Or I don't know. Okay. I'm going to clipping layer on this. Uh yeah, I'll be honest, I try to keep like any ego I have, non-existent. Like my own personal preference, I do not think anyone is better than. Like, I'll be honest, we all have our journey. We all have our journey. My journey is not any more or less valid than anyone else's. And so I basically try not to have egos. I mean, it's hard to not. Like, I'll be honest. Like, I'm fighting the urge to. That is 100% true and understandable. Like, even if you can do stuff better, what does it matter a lot of times? Like, especially if it's a huge streamer. If it's a huge streamer and you try to fix their art, in quotes, you're just gonna get hated into existence. I'm not even joking. You will get hated into existence. Which, here's the funny thing. You can actually use that to grow your own channel, but I'm not gonna ever do that. I genuinely kinda wrong. But yeah, especially if it's a big streamer, you will get hated into existence. And yeah, I try to keep any ego I have to be basically not. Yeah, but I know, but don't go. Because like, I'll be honest, one reason I stay the fuck away from character art, like, you'll notice, who am I drawing now? I am drawing an original character. She does not exist anywhere else. Period. She does not exist anywhere else, period. And the reason why is I'm fucking scared. I will be honest. I am fucking scared to do art, do fan art of almost anything. Because I have seen people go pour their heart and soul into a piece of fan art and then have it ripped to shreds by fucking fandoms for no reason. And it's just like this art piece is special to this person. Why are we attacking someone for doing something that's special to them? Especially when it's about a fandom that you're in. And especially if they're being respectful about it. It's just like, why? What if, why do we try to shoot, why do we try to shoot down anything that's made for a fandom? Especially if it's a fandom that you're in. Like, if it's a fandom you're in, you should be happy that someone else enjoys it, no matter what. Even if it is slightly different. Even if it is a slightly different way of doing it. Now, the only exception I can have is if it's in SFW. That is the only exception I can roughly justify. Is if it's in SFW. Because NSFW is very particular. If that makes sense. Like, I'll be honest. If someone draws NSFW of QT, I don't know. I say that, and then I have a bunny girl sitting right here. But, like, full NSFW, if someone does that of QT, I don't know how I'd think about it. To be honest. I've mentioned this before on stream. And then no one came in and was threatening the shit out of me but I called his bluff, so I'm good. I do fan art for brownie points, really, and sometimes they show it off. That's adding sprinkles on top, and all I really get out of it. Like, yeah, I understand that. Like, I've done one piece of fan art. Now that you mention it, I have done one piece of fan art. I'll see if I can bring it up. I don't know when I did it. I don't know where it is. Oh, there it is. Found it. Okay, this I did a long time ago. So this was right after Cabal made his uh, new model. And he's known for starting offline hype trains in someone else's chat. And this is actually a Overlord reference, if you know Overlord. So Overlord does this thing where he raises his hands up and he's like, applaud my supreme power. So I kind of did do a cab as Overlord. And it existed. He retweeted it, but that was it. I'm like, it existed. So I mean, it existed. And but I'll be honest, I am just scared of doing any kind of fan art. Yeah, I am just scared of doing any kind because I particular fandoms can be horrible sometimes. And I feel bad for anyone who's they pour their heart and soul into an artwork and then someone else just rips the shit out of it. And they're like, "Oh, well, that's not how that character looks. They actually look like this." Or, "Oh, you used a slightly different shade of brown. Are you trying to whitewash out these people?" That's cultural appropriation. Or I don't know. I'll be honest. I don't know. I'm not that smart. And they're like, "No, I just like this." And that's what it is. It's creative freedom. I mean, if I got the skin tone slightly too white, I mean, sorry. And people will go and just burn the shit out of them. I'm sitting here, I'm like, I just sit in my little art hole and I see it from the outside, and I'm like, that's scary. That is so fucking scary. And that's why I just don't do fan art, period. Like, I want to get into doing fan art of some of the VTubers that I like because I genuinely feel I would like it and I would enjoy all of it. But I just always get worried that like their communities would dislike it. Like I might not draw her exactly the way she is or he or whatever. I always get worried about that. So I tend to just stay out of the fan art sector. Even though I do kind of want to do it, and I do think I would enjoy it. So, yeah, even though I do think I would enjoy it, I just always end up worrying about it. What am I doing? So I do get scared of fan art, and that's why I don't end up doing it. I'm bad for it. I'm like, most of most of my feelings are unjustified. And in fact, I've only had good experience. Like I haven't had anyone the worst experiences I've had with posting my art anywhere has been on Instagram. And this isn't even a bad experience, where literally every time I post anything, I have like 8 people that comment and tell me to post it somewhere else and send it to someone else to post. And I'm like, no. Fan art is weird, man. Good for the people. Yeah, no, like it's honestly a lot of who you choose. Like, I will 100% agree. Like, people you choose to do the fan art of are going to dictate a lot of it. Because, like, if you would do it for a streamer who cares about their community, and if their community then started to roast the shit out of you for it, there's a pretty good chance that that streamer is going to get pissed and like yell at their community. So, and that's kind of a nice little assurance. But like, it doesn't change the fact that I'm still, and like, it's mostly unfounded. I'll be honest, it's mostly unfounded. And like, I have no reason to be so worried about it, but I just, and then I don't have any like, I got Sleepy, who's I guess a streamer friend. She comes by occasionally, but like, she doesn't hardly stream that often that I see. He also does live in Germany, so two completely different times. She is in we are in completely different time zones, so it's 100% understandable. Because whenever she tunes in, it's like, what time is it for her? Can't remember. Like 4 or 5 in the morning whenever she tunes in my stream. I'm like, Sleepy, please go to bed. You staying up to this late is hurting me. But yeah, no, it's definitely a big thing about like choosing a community to do fan art of. And like, I want to think most people gravitate towards better communities. Because I will be honest, I I hear things about toxic communities on Twitch. I haven't found one. I'll be honest, I have not found one. Now it could be that I stay the fuck away from anyone that's big. Like Max, the biggest person I actively watch is either Shy Lily or Mouse. I think Mouse is bigger than Lily. Probably. I don't know. But like, I stay away from any big streamer basically because I feel like that's gonna pull in. Big places tend to attract drama. That's just a fact. The more people you have together, the more likely there is going to be drama. So I just tend to stay away from bigger communities. And so as a result, my view is probably skewed. I have not really seen any bad community. But I just get scared doing fan art and collabs. Like when Sleepy was here last time, she was talking about wanting to do collabs. Might have actually been hinting at go and do a collab with her. I'm scared as shit at collabs. Like I know I can sit on here and bullshit and let my ADHD just run wild and just talk and talk and talk and talk about what I'm doing, talk about the rain, talk about the color red and why the color red is the worst color on the rainbow. Or the fact that brown or gray, whichever no, talk about the color brown and how brown does not exist. Or magenta. Magenta doesn't exist either. And I know I can just let them things take over. But talk about going and doing like a collaboration. I actually then have to bounce off of a person and like not be okay. There's a reason my VTuber is a fucking rock. Okay. I am a rock for a reason. And it's because I have no personality. I have no sense of humor. I am quite literally a dry, inorganic rock. Now I could be being a little bit harsh to myself there, but I'll be fine. And that's the reason why my PNG tuber is a rock. I do actually have a VTuber. I use a Vroid model whenever I'm playing games. So if you tune in during a game stream, you'll notice I am slightly different. Because my laptop, which whenever I'm doing art, when I'm doing art, I'm streaming on my laptop, and my laptop cannot handle an art program, OBS, and VC Face all at the same time. You have a funny bone. It's very random indeed. I don't know. I ain't made any jokes this entire time. Like, I don't know. I just let ADHD take over whenever I'm streaming, and I just voice every thought that goes through my head. And that's just my style of streaming. Face is looking nice in my opinion. And like, I feel bad. It's like I see other people that go and just make a funny clip. It takes them 5 seconds to make a funny clip. I I just can't do it. I just can't do it. So like, I think whenever I make clips, I'm just gonna have to go informational or like my opinions whenever I'm talking. And that'll just take so much more work, and I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I just get worried. Like this is something I've said before. I just get worried. Like I never believe I'm the greatest of streamers, but I do it anyway, and I've enjoyed it. And I've gotten a lot better at it from when I started. Because I actually started. When did I start streaming? Like September. Yeah, about September of last year when I started it. And let me tell you, I am a lot better than I was then. Like, song. Is that Darling in the Franxx as well? Yes. Darling in the Franxx ED. Probably one of the best animes though. Okay, anyway. Yeah, I've gotten a lot better at streaming though. Because whenever I first started, I could not manage the chat. Like I would have a chat sitting there, and I wouldn't read that message until 5 minutes later, consistently. But over time, I've slowly began to just be like glancing at chat every, I don't know. I'd like to say every less than a minute. Every less than a minute, I like to say I glance at chat. Most of the time, more often than that, especially if I know you're here. Especially if I know you're here, I'll glance at chat more often. But that's also another thing. I keep my view count off. I do not ever know how many people's watching because it makes me nervous. See, if I'm just sitting here and talking, that's fine. I'm just sitting here and talking. But as far as actually like knowing someone's here, yeah, then I start to get my face doesn't look bad. I like that face. I made some pretty good progress on this today. Not gonna lie. I've been really liking this. We're getting close to 11 o'clock. That's alright. I can keep going for a bit longer, although my voice is getting. I kind of need to refill the water. I kind of need to refill the water a little bit. But, I think I was talking about collaborations earlier. Yeah. So, collaborations do scare me, though. Because I can just sit here and talk and let myself go and just bullshit around. But, if I would go and pull in another person, I don't. In social situations, I tend to just go absolutely silent, and that would be so horribly unfair to anyone else. That would be so horribly unfair to anyone else if I would actually collaborate with them. If I would do that, and I don't know if I would or not. Like it scares me. Them eyes actually look good. I don't know if I like them eyes. I don't know if I like how them pupils are. Might be able to go down a little. Might be able to go down a little bit. We'll try it. We'll just take this down just a smidge. This. But how does I'm not sure how I'm liking how that's looking. I think most of it actually they're kind of speaking on the game topic. I do want to stream games more. I feel like I never stream games. I only stream games on Thursday basically. Like but like I don't it's weird because like I've surrounded myself with just chatting streamers for a long time. So I understand how to do the just chatting. Like I can just let my ADHD just roll off the trails. And that's why I like doing art because if I'm just chatting, it's just like, that's boring. But with art, it's just chatting, but I got scribbles going on. So if I'm not just chatting, I got scribbles going. Yeah, I got the scribbles going on. I can just keep myself occupied and everyone else occupied with just the scribbles. But this comes into a bad situation whenever we talk about games. Because whenever we talk about games, I'm just like, I don't know how I'm supposed to structure it. Because, like, I can't just let my ADHD wander off the fucking trails and be talking about the price of beans in Africa being related to the gold influx in eastern Taiwan. I can't talk about that or some other just completely random off the wall subject. But I also don't want to like cover up the game with just all the time. So I always feel strange when playing games. Which is honestly really weird because I always figured if I'd be streaming, I'd be playing games. Like it's just a very weird situation. All right, we're gonna start working on the eyes now. But this needs to be top layer. Line. But what was I talking about? Oh yeah, with game streams, I can't just let my ADHD wander off the fucking trails. I actually need to be talking about something in relation to the game. So I just always end up talking about like uh my ideas or what I'm thinking about the game or like the aesthetics of the game or whether that way that I died, which was completely legit by the way, whether it was bullshit or not. And that's like just all I know I can do. So I've not really found out how I'm going to structure streams yet. Like, I'm trying to be like a chill streamer. More of chill, comfy vibes, campy vibes, where I'm not exactly trying to be. The ADHD when gaming either comes from deep thoughts or focus mode. Yes, that's exactly it. Like, we was playing Hyperlight yesterday. I was either talking about the aesthetics of the game and how I like the aesthetics and how the aesthetics look, or I was just super hyper focused on the boss fight I was in. And I always felt stupid during the boss fights because I'm like, I'm not talking. I'm not talking whenever I do any of these fights. So I always playing games is weird. And I haven't exactly figured out how I want to do games going forward. And it feels weird because like how do I put this? Gaming feels like a more normal stream than art. Even though it's not. Okay, I'm not saying one is better than the other. I'm just saying he who monkey brain because this is what I thought for years because I only just recently picked up art. I only just recently started watching art streams and just chatting as well. But just chatting makes sense to me. Oh, I'm sorry. I got an email from one of my professors, so I was kind of reading it for a moment. But uh yeah, so it's just really weird for me. I don't ever know what I'm supposed to be whenever I'm doing a stream. What not an art stream, gaming. Whenever I'm gaming, my bad. Apparently can't speak today for shit. So, and I always feel bad because I'll go into ADHD mode and I'll just be hyper focusing on this boss and trying to beat this boss. And I won't be saying anything, or I'll just be talking about like the aesthetics of like an area. And that was like Hyperlight yesterday in a nutshell. It was one of them two thoughts. It was either, ah, this place looks cool as shit. I love this place. Or just me sitting silently, just Pepe staring at the fucking screen. Trying to not get myself turned inside out by the boss that I just by accident walked into. So I haven't figured out exactly how I'm going to do gaming streams yet. But whenever I'm doing the art streams, I feel pretty comfortable doing this. I feel really comfortable doing it this way. Like this way that I've been doing it where I'm just talking with you, giving a little bit of my insight at how things are done. Oh, thank you, Dom, for the follow. Thank you for lighting the fire of the follow to find your way back on these dark nights. You know, that's the first time I've actually gotten to say that since I came up with it, and I almost forgot to do it. But yeah, Dom, thank you. I really appreciate it. Because you make number 13. Yeah, I just kind of stream in my own little hole. There's not really anyone else here. I just stream in my little hole. And so I greatly appreciate it when you and other people come here and find me and give me a shot. Because I can only imagine the only way you found me is by going to the bottom of the art page on Twitch. I greatly appreciate it. And a thing that's really sad about it is my job is social media marketing. My job is creating a client base who see my content. And I don't do it for myself hardly. As bad as that sounds. As bad as that sounds, I don't do that for myself. So, but I just, as I've said before, I do this for fun. That is all my stream is. I stream for fun. I stream for my own entertainment, and I enjoy it. And I like to say, if I can just make one person's day better, or inspire one person to pick up that new hobby, then I'm happy. I'm happy. If I can inspire one person to maybe try something new and learn a little bit from it, try a new experience, then I'm happy. I'm happy. That is all I need to make my day. So I don't go through all the marketing steps that I could be doing because I'm genuinely happy where I'm at. And actually, funny thing, I actually said that to someone today. I had and I'm not shaming anyone here, okay? I don't want to act like I'm shaming anyone. I actually respect the shit out of this person for what they did. So what did they do? They sent me a friend request on Discord. And I was like, I'm 90% sure what this is. I'm 90% sure this is a graphic designer reaching out to me wanting to know if I want them to make any graphic design stuff for them, any stream elements for me. And I was like, I already know it because that is a thing that happens quite often, honestly, and it's kind of annoying. But I'm a business major. I 100% understand. I 100% understand. And she's actually making or they, I don't know what gender they are, but they were making a cold call on it. I'll respect the shit out of anyone doing a cold call because I know how hard cold calls can be. And that is exactly what she was doing. Or they. I don't know. The avatar was female. I don't know. That don't mean nothing. But they went and was like they struck up a little bit of small chat and they're like, "Oh, you're an artist?" And I'm like, "Yeah. I'm 90% sure you found me somehow on a streaming thing. I'm 90% sure you found me on Twitter and then came over here to offer your services to me." I'm like, "I'm not stupid." But that's fine. That's fine. Whatever. And they're like, "Oh, you're an artist?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I do a little bit." And they're like, "Oh, well, these are some designs that I've made. Do you want me to make anything for you?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm good. I just do this stuff for fun." And then I'll respect the shit out of this person for doing this as well. I said, "No, I'm good. I just do this as a hobby. I'm not super obsessed with having the best anything." I'm like, I'm good. I'm happy." And I just left it at that. They was like, "Oh, okay. I understand." And they didn't message me anymore. So yeah, it was definitely just a person just trying to who found me on Twitter and then like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna try to sell my services to this person." And I 100% respect the shit out of it. I'm not trying to bash them in any way, shape, or form. I understand. Like they're just trying to make money. They're just trying to make money, and I mean, it gave me a little bit of a person to talk to and know that I'm actually reaching people. I mean, I'm all right with it. I'm liking this. I'm liking this. Oh, I unfortunately have a selfish reason why I do this, that. Oh no. Well, content creation. Changing it to I'm sorry. I have a horrible reading level. I'm changing it to find a way to make my friend realize their dreams. I respect the shit out of it. Like I've said, I don't care about being a well-known artist. Like that is irrelevant for me. all right, art will come and go. There'll be a day when my art is looked at and people are like, ah, that's shit. And that's fine. But what I want to do, I want to encourage use whatever person base I have, whatever viewer base, whatever community I build. I want it to be amazing people. I want it to be a group of people who are internet friends, essentially, and encourage each other to start and grow their passions. Such as you say you're doing guitar. I want if someone else goes and mentions some hesitation about playing guitar, I would want someone like you to be like, oh yeah, this is what I know about guitar. This is some of my tips and thoughts and et cetera, et cetera. And I want to create a place where people can come in and feel safe learning and expanding into new hobbies. And just growing each other as a person to lift each other up. Because as I mentioned earlier, I think we are locking I think we as a society are locking information behind a paywall way too fucking much. I always wanted people to look at me and be like, damn, he's good, but also want to do. But I think we're spending like way too much time and money trying to gatekeep any informational resource on anything. And I think that that's just a tragedy. But I want to make a place where people can come in and be like, "Oh yeah, there are a bunch of amazing people that come in and are trying to make the community and the world a better place." But I mean, I would like people to come in and be like, "Oh yeah, that's some sick ass art." And people have. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Sleepy came in one day and was like, "Your art's looking fucking amazing." I was like, "Ah." And I just completely went speechless for a little bit. That was right when I first got to know Sleepy. Like, I genuinely, my art's okay, but I'm not trying to make it big with art. Like, I know my art would never be the same level as Nanolis or Diariku or Sulia. I know my art will almost never get to that level, but I'm fine with that. But I'm fine with that. Purely because they've been doing it for so long and they work their asses off at it. I'm so confused. I'm so confused. All right, there we go. I was using a gray brush and somehow it was turning tan. I'm like, I'm confused. But yeah, no, I want to create a community where people can lift each other up. Like I don't believe in all this locking everything and anything we can away. I don't believe in really locking any information, I'll be honest. I think if you have a passion to learn something, just be able to put the effort in to learn it. And that's what I inspire to create. And you want to know, like, yeah, I don't know where I was going with that. I kind of lost the train that I was even piloting on them rails. But I just want to have people enjoy themselves here. I want to make just Huh? Just a. Is that just. Why is Dr. Pepper the only thing that's purple? Is that like linking to somewhere? That's a link. Why is Dr. Pepper the only thing that's purple? Okay. I have no comment. I'm not gonna lie. I don't like I started hearing something, I'm like, oh what? I don't what's going on with the music? And then I actually realized that it was actual words. So I missed like the first part of it. That's a interesting copy pasta. Shove. I don't know what I'm doing here, I'll be honest. I'm kinda just screwing around with another half shade. I'm just playing with this half shade a little bit. I might keep it, I might not, I don't know. I have not decided. But yeah, I want to create a place where people can enjoy themselves. And like, I created goals at the beginning of this year. And what I want, if I want us to be known for anything, what would I want to be known for? I want to be known for a place where people can come in for a long day at work when work's been shit, and I give them a little bit of reprieve from the day. I'm just going, creating some art. I'm just going, creating some art and helping make someone else's day better. Because life can be shit if you let it be shit. And it's very easy to just let life be shit. If I can just help one person's life and make just a few people just a little bit happier in their day to day, I'd be I'd be super stoked. I'll be honest. And I mean that's a little bit greedy of me. Like and that kind of plays into a little bit of my future plans. Like if I was to grow, I've already thought of this. So you'll notice a lot of my panels down below. I kind of have a bit of a theme with I like to call it the Firelighters logo. I can actually whip it up real quick. I kind of have a bit of a theme. I like to call this the Firelighters logo. And that's like a really shit one, but whatever. And so the whole idea behind it is if I end up growing up, this is going to become like a big thing with the channel. And I want to be like a summer camp, essentially. Like I believe if you make your content a part of your personality, I think you're automatically more inclined to success because you can relate to it really easy. Like camping and summer camps and Boy Scouts has been a big part of my life and has heavily influenced who I am now. So I feel like I could have like a bit of summer camp vibes. Where like during the summer we'll have summer camp where we'll explore different skills and different skill sets and whatnots. Then you got like themed camps and just really campy vibes. And my thought was like I could be like a camp counselor essentially where I'm this sounds so familiar. Ah, it's from BNA. BNA. That makes sense. But I could be like a camp counselor where I'm kind of putting on the show, And then the chat could be like campers and whatnot. I'm like, that'd be cool. I'm like, that would be cool. And maybe it's a little bit greedy of me to want to self-satisfy by helping people, but like, it's just been a huge part of myself. Because like I'm an Eagle Scout. I've done a lot of work doing uh, social services. I've taken care of a lot of old people. I've done a lot of things for my community. And it's just not something I can get away from. So even whenever I was like planning out my channel, I was like, I want that to be a part of it. And then I promptly realized, and I was like, well, I doubt I'll ever grow big enough to make that big of a difference. But I mean, make just a little. I'd be happy. And that's kind of what inspired me to get into streaming. So I was like, I kind of want just a community of people where we're all just trying to learn and get along together. And it's great. And I really never even intend to blow up. Like, I'll be honest, I've mentioned this before. My ideal place I'm going to ever get to is about 10 CCV. That's about the place I plan on hitting. And I'm going to keep working even once I get that. But if I get 10 CCV, that's more than I ever planned on. I was like, that is my like 10-year goal for streaming. I'll be honest. Which is why I kind of take this stuff a little bit slow. Like I'm not that worried about it. Whatever happens with streaming, I'm already very happy with it because I just do this as a hobby, as I've said many times, many times. So I'm sure I sound like a broken record about it. About 10 CCV is all I ever really plan on hitting because expecting any more than that is just absolutely absurd. And sometimes I get a little bit anxious about it because I'm like, man, I really want to be putting in more work so I can try to get more viewers. And then I promptly realize I'm like, realize how like greedy that statement is. I'm like, do you realize how greedy that statement is? You're literally just doing it for your own satisfaction. And then I promptly am like, I'm doing this for fun. I'm alright. I'm literally just trying to create content, make people's day better. And if I'm just creating content to grow, that's only satisfying my own self, everything. And then, so I just, anymore, I'm just like, I'll stream. It'll be fine. If I get growth, hooray. If not, it's alright. I'm just streaming for fun. So, and I definitely think setting that kind of a mindset is healthy. Like, I have established my goals. If I ever hit 10 CCV, I'm happy. And that's all I ever expect is 10 CCV. Even then, I don't even expect that. I stream for fun. I stream for personal satisfaction of that I'm streaming and I'm having a good time. I'm sitting on here, I'm talking, I'm chilling. And that's what I enjoy about streaming. I get to sit on here, I get to talk, I get to chill. And because of that, it's been very nice. I just get on here, I chill, I make whatever content I'm really able to. I only try to create good content. I'm actually like getting almost done with this. I have a few final accents to put in, and I'm like done with this. Interesting to say the least. Yeah, I never thought I'd really like get this done today, but I've been like hammering it out. Actually, kind of impressive. Normally I get distracted like a lot more. Yeah, normally I get distracted like a lot more. So, yeah, I just enjoy sitting here and doing art. Like I'm not the biggest streamer in the world, but I enjoy it. I enjoy sitting here and doing art nonetheless. And like I said, if I can make one person's day better by just streaming my art, what? There's an ad in the video itself. No offense, but I hate you. Alright, we're just gonna tell YouTube to never put that in anything again. Because, sorry, I don't engage ad blocker to be subjected to ads. This is not what I'm not watching ads for. Doesn't that... Isn't that like the most entitled statement ever? This is not what I'm not engaging ad blocker just to just to have ads. This is not what I'm not watching the ads for. I mean, it's true. Sorry. I genuinely don't care. You know what? We're gonna make a new design. Oh no. Okay, we are going to make a design change for QT. And I do this every single time I draw her. And it gets annoying. I'm not gonna lie. I don't care. Uh, Oop. Okay. My art program broke for a bit. Still kind of breaking itself. I could be. This is kind of a weird perspective. Then we're gonna loop this up and over. Just try to make rough fire shapes. Like, and there's not a set way to draw the Firelighters logo. It's just kind of however I'm feeling it at the moment. I'm gonna move this slightly over because I want to make this slightly more round. Like that. Sorry, I messed up. I hit the wrong button. Okay. And then I don't think we're really not going to see the other one. How does that look? Does that look any better? Then the other one, it's gonna kind of like start, but we're not gonna see the rest of it. We're like not gonna see the rest of it. I don't know how I feel about that. I kind of like it not being there, I'll be honest. I don't know if I have anything else to do with this. Like, I'm really, really, really stoked about it. I like how it looks. Yeah, I am really liking how this is looking. I think that is gonna be like all for today. We're getting to be like 11:30 at night. And I do kind of have to be up at a decent hour. So I would like to thank Dom or Damo for coming by. Been amazing to talk to. Uh, yeah, I'm going to head off. I am getting really tired. It is getting really late here, and yeah, my voice is starting to get a little hoarse from me streaming a little while. I know it's only been about 2 hours and a half hours, but I've been speaking about this entire time, just talking about whatever. So I'd like to thank everyone who came out. I'd like to thank Damo for the follow. And my next stream, I'm not streaming tomorrow. My next stream will probably be next Wednesday due to my college schedule. So I apologize, but I'm not able to stream very often, which is why I end up streaming like 3 days in a row, being Thursday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So I'd like to thank everyone again for coming out. I'm going to be ending stream now. I'd like to thank you all and tell you all to have a great evening, have a good night, and I hope you all